Hey guys, Lumini here, and today we're going to be doing a sort of live commentary on this TA run I did on Alatreon. I guess first thing to note is that I am wearing the full Safi'jiiva set armor, and as you could probably tell, this is the fire start for Alatreon. Now granted, I have this little special belief where if I end up using up the wet fish or the wet fish fin plus, then it typically means good luck for this run. but of course I go straight for the tenderize. I mean, my set has a natural 70% affinity, but with how often I'm kind of able to tenderize the whole body as a whole, I figure that it's probably best it's probably best that I have 100% affinity, so that way I can get out as much element as possible. Because, as we all know, the biggest thing for this fight is applying that elemental pressure on Alatreon, so that he can have his elemental topples. Now that fight, or that move right there, is always a nice one to set yourself up for a level 3 charge. And that one right there, I like to call it the Dragon Slam. That one's gotten me killed more times than I'd like to admit, mainly because of a missed time dodge, and the follow-up attack usually gets me. But as you can see, I kind of had a bit of a rough start, but thankfully I finally got this KO, and with this set, usually being able to get that very first KO is extremely important, because within the next hit, it'll lead to the topple. Just about every time, so it's extremely crucial that I get that KO before the elemental topple, otherwise the KO just ends up overriding the topple, and I just lose out on free damage pretty much. And it sucks a lot when that happens. Alright, that claw swipe's not too bad to avoid, but it's usually the follow-ups that come afterwards that you have to avoid. The double dragon head swipe, that one's a big one to dodge, because it's just easy to dodge, and it's kind of frustrating whenever you get hit, because the window of opportunity is just pretty large with it. Dodging the fire blast, which is pretty fun, but a lot of the time I find that the fire blast tends to have a quick follow-up right after it, so a lot of the time I don't get greedy to try and punish it. Now the flight mode, especially TA-wise, gets pretty annoying because there's only so many opportunities you can hit. Like this one right here, this one's actually a really good opportunity to counterattack the head. And thankfully, Alatreon has quite a large head hitbox, and then couple that with the hammer's ridiculously large hitbox as well, it kind of makes it easy at times to hit the head whenever you need to. Now, right here, he's going to land to set the stage on fire, and he has a bit of a big cooldown whenever he does that, so I use that time to sharpen up the weapon. Give myself some of that juicy 1 minute of free sharpness. Now, right here, whenever he switches Dragon Element, I generally tried to kind of stay barely outside the range so that I could punish that attack as best as I can. Another thing I should note, that whenever possible, you should hopefully break the horn outside of a clagger or outside of a KO or elemental topple, because like you just saw right there, I was able to pretty much get a golf swing in, and losing out on potential golf swings is pretty huge for this fight, especially considering how dangerous it is, and the moment you just break your concentration, that's generally how I find things to go downhill in the fight. I clutched onto him right there, mainly just to get in the extra elemental damage. Okay, so generally if you're not running and you only have your weapon out, you have to dodge that attack, because I think from full HP it'll easily do about 80% of your health at health boost plus 2. So it's definitely a sort of deal. Alright, here he comes again with the Dragon Slams. And unfortunately, because I didn't have my weapon out already, I could only get the level 2 swing in. This move is not too bad, but I need to get better at trying to position myself for it. For that move, I think if I was fast enough, I could probably clutch onto his face while he's spewing out that ice pool, because usually a lot of his ice frost attacks don't have a, I guess, a more solid hitbox. It's more of a passive damage thing. So like, for example, that one right there, you could just easily tank it without having to get blown away. But if it was the fire breath, then you'd probably get knocked back. Again, thankfully with the KO, and really ideally you'd have your KOs while Alatreon is tenderized. Because all that big bang damage is so tasty. And I guess with that particular electric attack, I guess the rule of thumb is that if you find yourself directly in the middle of that electricity, then you should probably dodge out of the way instead of trying to chance it by running out, because a lot of the times I find that you end up getting hit. The Ice Breath, that one in particular is really nice. It lasts longer than the Fire Breath, and it ends up giving you quite a lot of opportunity to get good solid hits in the head in. And same with that particular attack. I call it the Thunder Curtain. The Thunder Curtain attack also gives you quite a big window if you're able to dodge it, and then even bigger bonus points for whenever he does the Thunder Curtain attack when he's right next to a wall and you're also there with him, because then you don't have to travel very far. Alright, does his little Dragon Run, followed by the Dragon Swipe, or I guess Dragon Rush. I need to write down all these names. Here he comes with the Ice Breath, so I'm going to go ahead and do the spinning roundhouse moves, so that way it gets some extra elemental hits in. Trying to fish for another topple if I can. Again, dodge, or just kind of move out of the way. Unfortunately, I moved wrong right there, so I had to dodge out of the way, losing my level 3 swipe. Now, right here, when he's preparing the Judgment, it's perfect time for you to go ahead, sharpen up, rebuff yourself, and then get your healing item ready. For me, I decided to use Astera Jerky because, well, why the hell not? It heals your red health, and in which case, if you're at full health, then yeah, that's all your HP. Unfortunately, I did not aim that great right there. It should have been a headshot. Definitely lost out on quite a couple seconds, I would say, because 440-ish damage versus 600 damage. Again, double head swipes. So I go in for the uppercut. He's doing the Thunder Curtain again. And this time I just go in for the smack, bitch slap, and then no, I actually got in the golf swing. That's good. Okay, now, for these claggers, I don't really intend on actually hitting Alatreon with them, mainly because actually landing the claw itself is much more important than landing that initial uppercut. So it's okay to miss the uppercut as long as the claw lands. Now, I apologize for the clanging in the background. That's just my guinea pigs drinking their water, because I'm in here with them. Again, dodged. Unfortunately, dodged twice. But thankfully, still, an uppercut is still an uppercut. It adds quite a bit to the KO value, so even if it's not a lot. Now, that move in particular is my only reason why I like Fire Mode in the first place, mainly because it just gives you such a juicy opportunity for a golf swing, and I'm pretty sure with other weapons as well, like Hunting Horn, it'll probably give you a good opportunity to get yourself an Echo Note off. Now, generally at around this point of the hunt, I kind of start getting nervous, mainly because you've been concentrating for so long, and you don't want your next mistake to be your last one. Now, I should note about those fire rings, and just generally a lot of Alatreon's attacks in general, you can iframe them without any additional evasion skills. Alright, good. Got the KO right there. Gonna go ahead and go in for the big bang attack. Now, about right here, I noticed that the skull icon is finally appearing on Alatreon, but again, that kind of actually makes me even more nervous, because it's just one of those things where you know you're so close, but any mistake can really fuck it up, and if anything goes wrong, well, such as him playing right now, then it really adds in a lot of time to the hunt. Now again, he's doing Dragon Rush. I counted out and decided to sharpen my weapon after this, because generally he does not do any of his moves, or at least any of his flying moves twice in a row that I see. So, and then top it off, in my opinion, the Dragon Rush attack, that one is the most dangerous one, because it will pin you to the ground, which is usually a definite KO for the most part. Fortunately, I whiff, and I finally actually get the dodge right there. That flamethrower attack is probably another reason why fire would be a decent start for some people. But, again, that one doesn't really start showing up until the second half of the fight. Thankfully, we get ourselves another elemental stagger. Ooh, we're so close. Dodged Aurora right there. Back. Smack. Here's my favorite move again. This time we were actually able to break the horn without a clacker as well, so that's also very good. And this time, like I mentioned before, he does the Thunder Curtain attack right next to the wall, so there was no chasing involved for that. And there we go, that was the hunt. Alright. Oh yeah, I had the charger, or I had Focus 1 installed onto the set, only because me personally, I find that it adds a couple extra windows, or at least a couple extra safer windows to get in that level 3 charge, especially whenever he's doing that electric attack that you could just stand under him with. Like, a lot of the times I find that if you are kind of mid-attack and then he starts charging it up, the level 1 focus will at least give you enough time to safely get one level 3 off. Well, I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and I hope to see y'all guys next time. I will probably keep fighting Alatreon until I get bored or something takes my attention away. So, I hope to see y'all guys next time. Adios.